And we're live. Good afternoon, morning. Good morning, folks. It's odd because we record this a different day from when we release it. So I'm always trying to work out, is it morning, is it afternoon? But hey, wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching, welcome to a new episode of Let's Talk Common Sense with me, Mike Comedy. It is so exciting because we are in a new month. It is the 1st of February. Are your goals coming to life? Are you becoming the person you always thought you would become? Sorry, this feels really odd. I feel like I'm doing a kind of I'm channeling my inner Oprah, helping you become a better you. Folks, if you're new around here, this is a show where we talk about politics, but also we meet some really interesting people. And today, folks, is no different. We're meeting someone super interesting, who's going to help you through finance, right? She's brilliant. She's a author and a financial wellness coach. And so we're going to talk a bit about those budgets, those those trigger points like planning and saving that gets people going. And don't worry, folks, we're going to make sure it's relatable, that you enjoy it as well. So stick around for that. But of course, I must first take you through just the news, as it were. A really interesting story, actually, that jumped out to me just a bit before I started recording this, was one that's actually on tcsnetwork.co.uk. If you don't know, this podcast is brought to you by Common Sense, and it's a story about the global divide between the rich and the poor. For the first time, it's shrinking. It's actually shrinking, right? But here's the thing, and here's the caveat: it's not shrinking because the global poor are getting richer. No, it's because COVID-19 hit richer countries more than poorer countries. So I'm not sure if it's something to celebrate, but it's definitely interesting. You can see the debate at tcsnetwork.co.uk. There's obviously talks about Donald Trump. We can't escape him. I know. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll do 10 seconds on Trump. Trump's lawyers have quit ahead of his impeachment trial in the Senate, which is going to start in a couple of days. That's what you're getting in Trump. We're going to move on straight from there. If you go to the website, you'll see lots of stories about Boris Johnson and how COVID's going, this new government policy, trying to make, incentivize, if you like, people to self-isolate for £500. We're talking about whether that's even worth it. Lots of interesting news stories happening. But we're going to take a break from that for 1 minute and just talk to my wonderful guest who I'm going to invite now into our virtual studio. Welcome, Bola Soul.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. It's been a good day.
Yeah? What kind of stuff have you got up to?
I had a great jog today, and I do this like abs workout on YouTube. So that's great. Regardless of the pandemic or pandemonia, whatever you want to call it, the panoramic, I am trying to stay in shape and be in good mood, crew.
Love that. So you just did your kind of wellness routine, almost like your kind of self-care routine. What do you think about that? Because people often talk about, like, girl, I don't want to make it a sex thing or gender, whichever one it is. People talk about kind of a self-care routine. Do you have that? Does it actually work? Do we all need that?
Yes, we all do. And it can come in different ways. For some people, it can come in the format of playing video games. It can come in the format of taking care of like your nails, doing your nails. It can be anything, like just looking after yourself in ways that I guess you would, if you were busy, you wouldn't think about.
I only say that because, of course, it's been a lot. This whole COVID season has been a lot. It's hit people's kind of, physical. I gained a bit of weight. I'm definitely more rounder than I was earlier, early last year.
I'm trying to shake mine because I say I'm not going into auntie mode early. Like, you cannot take me, boy. You're not taking me there. I'm not going.
I can relate because I looked at myself and said, Mike, you're getting awfully plump. And unfortunately, we're at that stage now. I say we, but people are at that stage now, once you kind of cross 25, cross 26, where your body just doesn't, it's not as quick as it used to be. Before it's like, boom, it's gone. Now it's like hanging around for a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And that snack costs too much as well. I've currently given up alcohol just because it's unnecessary calories. I don't feel I need it. I want to just be in just the greatest shape, and if I can, I try to just eliminate certain things.
Amazing. You're practicing what you preach, which I think is a powerful thing. Now, for folks who are wondering, they want to find out a bit more about you. I actually love it. I do lots of speaking, and people always kind of read bios out. And I always kind of think I want to tell my story in my own words, right? So I love giving guests a chance to do that. I know you're an author. I know you're a financial wellness coach. We're going to go into some of these things in a bit of detail, but in your own words, which we don't often get a chance to do. How would you describe your work and what you do? What's the vibe?
The vibe is making people financially confident and making them feel rich in their own terms, not defined by a number or, how many investments you have. It's feeling rich in yourself, knowing where your money is, and being content with that while also striving for more.
I love that. Wow. And how long have you been doing that for? Because that sounds like a lot to be doing. I remember seeing you on the Bola Soul show a long time ago.
No.
Is that when it started?
No, so the Bola Soul show started in 2017, I believe. Yes, 2017. I want to make sure I have that right. And I started speaking about personal finance on my blog, Refined Currency, in 2015, and it just kept growing from there. Then I still had my personal website, bolasoul.co.uk, and so that was like, for me personally, that was fashion, finance, and feminism. Then there was personal finance, of course, which was just more about the money, and then there was personal development, which is what the Bola Soul show was about, and that was like more the development of the community.
Wow, I love stories when I hear like people have been like, because you see, put it this way, social media does that thing, doesn't it? You see people's success and you kind of go, oh, that's great. You kind of imagine they just did it, but you don't see all the years of blogging, writing. I mean, I can imagine days where you're just like, I don't want to blog, but you're kind of like, I want to get something out. You get it out and you do it for years, and now you've written a book, haven't you? You've only gone and done it, right?
I've only gone and done it. We did it, Joe.
We did it, Joe. Right, tell me about that little beautifully compact book. I love typography. I'm a massive fan of just like succinct. And tell me about that. What was the process behind that, and what went into it?
Oh, should we take it back to my vision board in 2019? So I made a vision board, and there was multiple things on it. I still have it, and one of it was Murky. I didn't know why. I said I wanted to work with Murky in some capacity. And then 2 years ago, funnily enough, I was just working for myself, but I was finding it to be very difficult. I couldn't really get through to anyone in terms of companies. Maybe like the hunger for personal finance just wasn't there yet. And I was like, right, okay. And I remember thinking, is this going to work for me? And then I did like a mentorship scheme, and then they did it in this office, and I remember seeing books everywhere, and like lots of books by Penguin, and I kept thinking, is this a sign? Am I going to get a book deal with Penguin? I felt it. I kid you not, I felt it. I said, I'm going to get a book deal with Penguin, and I couldn't tell you why it was Penguin. I just knew it was them. I couldn't tell you why. There's so many others. There's like Fourth Estate, which is I think under HarperCollins, and all these other companies, but I felt it. But then nothing was happening. So I just said, maybe I was wrong. And so I went back to work, and I just said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some qualifications. I'm going to do this job. This job is going to make me X amount of money, and then I'm just going to use my money and buy houses. That was literally my plan. I'm just going to do this and buy houses and just make money off of that, work, just do it like everybody else. But then I found that when I kind of let go and let God, as they say, things started happening.
Wow.
Stylist contacted me to do a workshop in partnership with NatWest. And then at the start of last year, Murky messaged me. They sent me an email, and I was just like, this is so crazy because it's on my vision board. And obviously Murky Books is under Penguin. So I was just like, there it is. There is that thing that I feel so strongly that I couldn't describe. It was so strong, I couldn't even tell anybody. And it was really hard because although, you know, I have a degree in maths and finance and I worked for a long time along doing these hustles, and now I'm, you know, fully self-employed, but it took a long time to get to that point. And it was really hard, even like telling my siblings who are older than me, like most of them, my next youngest sister is 6 years older. So
Wow.
my oldest brother is 14 years older than me. So they didn't grow up on the internet as much as I did. And it was really hard me kind of talking about this, like me basically formulating a career that doesn't really exist. People thinking, what's a financial coach? People look for financial advisors and wealth managers, but that's completely different from being a financial coach.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's, you know, emotional.
Yeah, it is. You know, I sometimes I just try to be content every day, and not necessarily content to the point that I don't do anything else, but also grateful. It's very easy to just be like, to get to a certain point and be like, oh yeah, but you think, no, like this is the position I wanted so badly, and maybe God wanted me to wait a little more and things like that. But I'm ridiculously happy to be in the space I am now.
I love that. I mean, can I put some stuff on your vision board, just seeing as they come true? You know, can you just put that Donald Trump will be indicted by the Senate on, you know, so you can't really. I mean, that's quite something to kind of see a vision, it come to pass. But also, I think what's really interesting and why I want to get your thoughts, because I think there's no one more qualified than you to talk about this, is you've done this in the middle of a pandemonium, as you said, like in the middle. So it's not like it's not a time where book deals are flying everywhere. You know, it's a time where, you know, everyone's bootstrapping and people are in pain, quite frankly, from COVID. I know people who've lost jobs, people who were made redundant. The furlough scheme is ending very, very soon. I think end of March or something like that. So yeah, I mean, that makes the success, or it makes the achievement even more kind of remarkable. So with the book, then, what's the aim? What's your aim? Because I guess authors always get asked this, don't they? They get asked, what do you hope your book achieves, and who's it for, really?
I would even say, you know, I don't want to say 16 plus, because I think if you're under a particular age, you can also read that. You can read the book. It's not. It's for anyone who wants to fix their finances and they don't want all this jargon and they don't want it to sound like BS, if I'm honest. The book is, even with a notes section, 125 pages maximum in a very small size. And I just wanted to talk about the different ways that, you know, everything. So there's 7 main chapters. There's mindset, there's budget, saving, debt, credit, investing, and wellness. This book is just that guide you need to get started and to put things in place and to really think, what is my money currently doing, and could it be doing more for me? And just to get to that place. So, like, you know, I love when people tell me I'm reading a chapter and I'm making action points here, and I'm like, fantastic.
Love it.
You just, because I just want people to get to a place where, and you know, this is a shameless plug, I do it with Rich Girl Chronicles. So it's my money accountability group that I have. I just want people to get to a good place. So what I say is like, there's like RGC graduates. So people who are now like, Bola, I no longer need the group. I am in a good place. My credit is in a good place. Maybe I have a few debt payments left. I've got my emergency fund intact. My savings are up like 3K. I feel good and I budget every month. And I'm like, go on and prosper.
Fly away from the nest.
Literally, I'm like, fly, because that's all I want. It's not like I want to hold anyone down, because one of the things I said is my 20s are about, you know, personal finance for everyone, but my 30s are about taking it to another level, properties, funds, you know, having better investment portfolios. But yeah.
Love that. I mean, Rich Girl Chronicles, that sounds like such a good group. Is it kind of free? Do folks pay a subscription? How does it work exactly?
Yeah, so it's currently a subscription, and we've had over 2,000 people join at different times. Yeah, so that's been going since 2018. Like I think October, November 2018. We've had over 2,000 people come and go. I don't like to hold people, but I decided to make it a monthly membership because it used to be a 5-week course. People come in, they chat, they gain information. How is everybody? It was great. But then what I found is I wanted to build a relationship with people and to understand their finances, to understand their habits, to understand their triggers, to also understand a little bit about their family situation and where they rank in their family. That's something that's very important, because someone could be the oldest child and be paying the most bills in the house, and looking after their younger siblings. So having that relationship with them, it helps me see a bigger picture. I do not like to give generic advice. I absolutely despise it. I don't want people to say, "Oh, just budget and do this and yeah, fix your credit." No, because everyone's situation is completely different, and some people, they will have bills up to their ears. It could be medical bills for their family, whatever it is. So you have to treat every situation uniquely.
I can see your passion for this, Bola. It's beautiful to see.
Mm.
I always wonder when I meet passionate people who are, because I love passion. It's really weird, but I love it. When I see someone who's passionate about hairdressing, it's something about just the attention to detail they pay, how they obsess over the minutiae of what they're doing. Something about that passion is just like, it's good. My question to you then is like, where does it come from, man? Because I think I asked you this before. Like, were you that kid in sixth form that was just keeping a spreadsheet on who owes you what and who, and were you that like that? Have you always had this desire to be like financially quote unquote free? And I was like one of those traders, or is this something you kind of stumbled into, for want of a better term, or you responded to out of a need that you saw?
I responded to it out of a need that I saw. I felt like we use finances every day, and we all need to understand our money. I wanted everyone to make better decisions, and to be informed enough so that they can make those decisions and decide what's best for them. And funnily enough, when I was in college, I was the president of the student union, so I was given a £10,000 budget.
Well, there you go.
Spend, which was great, given a £10,000 budget to spend on the students and like make different changes. So that was really good, in terms of, that was kind of like sitting on a board. So there was like people like education officer, entertainment officer, went to ACS at uni, did that as well, but that was quite different because you didn't have the same budget. But in terms of, I was never that person who like had spreadsheets and counted everything to the pennies. When we were renting a house, I think the lease, my name was first, and I got the gas and electric in my name. But like when I got my student loan, I know some people who went out and like, bought like the latest Louis Vuitton luggage set or whatever, or backpack, and that to me, and I was just like, they said that they were so hungry, and I was just like,
what are they carrying in that bag? What are you carrying other than
school books and ambition? Because you're not eating, and you just can you imagine if that was your friend, and then, oh God, this person's coming over again, that they're looking for food. It's annoying because you've done the sensible thing with your money and they've gone and done that. But I was never into that. I just thought to myself, all right, cool, I've got money, let me make it stretch, not for 10 weeks, which was like the academic year, for 14, because obviously I wasn't working at the time, and I just thought until I get my next sum of money. But yeah, I didn't do much. Funny enough, I didn't have an overdraft at uni, and I wish I did, because it was 0%, but I didn't need it. And I see a lot of people, they've gotten so used to their overdraft that like paying it off like becomes such a
it is weird, because you get used to it there, like it being there, and it feels like it's your money, of course, until you kind of realize it's actually not. You owe money.
I had to shake myself out of that mindset, because I started playing around with like credit and overdrafts a little more after uni, and like sometimes you just think, why do I have to pay it back? But I think that's a childlike response. And I just
can't they just let me off?
Oh, don't be silly, come on.
I tweeted recently that one thing I want the Conservative government to do that will make me pay attention, because we are privileged somewhat. I'm self-employed too, and I have been, for years, and we're privileged in some ways because not much policy affects me. and like personally, businesses I look after a certain size, so that we're not really, even COVID, which definitely hurt us. We lost thousands of pounds. It was, I've talked about it everywhere. It still wasn't the end of the world, so to speak, right? So I've always kind of felt a bit insulated from government policy. However, I recently got a council tax bill, and I just thought, well, you know what? Why don't they just waive council tax for this year? Like that would, the Conservatives would get my vote. If Boris Johnson, if Rishi Sunak said, you know what, this year we're getting rid of the council tax, I will campaign for them. I'm saying it here. I will march. I will raise my I will do whatever it takes. Because
loopholes. If they take away council tax, then what other tax will be put in to take over? Like, it's a tough one.
Well, I have a few ideas, but let's not. I don't want to reveal my hand too much. But to that though, I only say that because COVID's tough, and for some people, council tax is like a punch in the throat, right? What would you say to someone who kind of is struggling, maybe he's lost income from COVID, and normal bills that you could pattern, and for the older listener, that means something you could handle that's well within your power, right? Now those normal bills are they're cascading on people, and they feel like they just can't. They feel like they can't pay the bills, so to speak. What would you say to that kind of younger person? How would you address them?
Yeah, I would say it's time to upsell yourself. You could be a virtual assistant. You could proofread. If you're good at editing, you could do that. There's so many skills out there. There's websites like Fiverr for, that's like I forget the term that they use, but like I said, you could side hustle your way into making money. There are always ways. Don't rest on your laurels or feel like there's one avenue to making money. There are so many. You just open up your mind and give it a minute and actually think about what skills that you have. And
get the book because I imagine the book has lots of content in there that someone can use to actually start kind of think. I like the way you kind of phrased it, this idea of just making finance relatable, but equally giving people, making it jargon free so that people actually have the tools. The image that came up in my head when you were speaking of someone kind of taking notes and actually budgeting as they were reading it, it's so important because, let's be quite frank, finance is that trigger word for a lot of people. And I love that you've got a range of different things you do that helps people just see that in a different light, from the 3 Digits podcast. Is that still going on? Are you guys recording through lockdown?
Yeah. We meet up as much as we can, and then every Thursday a new episode comes out. Rain or shine, we get it done.
I love it. And consistency is that thing, isn't it? It's the difference between that vision board image and the book in your hand right now.
The book, yes, the book that everyone should go out and get. A great pocket book. It's available on Amazon and Waterstones.
Yeah, that's brilliant. No, listen, Bola, thank you so much for being on this show. Thank you for sharing a bit of that. And folks, maybe you're thinking, I want to hear more. I've got a question. Well, get the book. Right, or reach out, join the Rich Girl Chronicles. It's a shame. Why aren't there any Rich Guy Chronicles?
We tried to create one and they just didn't talk as much.
Oh no, come on. That is a trope that we have to...
It's true. That's how you stop. You lot don't want to speak, so I'm like, well, I'm not gonna force you. It's not. It's too hard.
There's too much to say. But listen, thank you for being a part of this and for giving your time to this conversation, folks. If it's your first time, then do subscribe. Turn in your notifications wherever it is you're listening from. Become a part of this growing family, because there's lots of exciting guests coming up. This was a shorter episode, but next week we'll have a longer episode just to keep things fresh. But I hope you have a great week. And Bola, thank you so much. Is there anything else people need to know? Because I've said Rich Girl Chronicles, I've said the book. How else can people kind of connect with you and find out about what you do? Which your service is essential. That's the term. You're an essential service during this period. So what can people do to connect with you?
Yeah, so I am on Twitter and Instagram And that's BOLA_soul, SOL, Bola_soul. And I'm on YouTube as well at Bola Soul. So you're going to see a lot more money videos coming this year.
Looking forward to that YouTube channel. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Is that your intro? Have you perfected your intro?
No, I haven't. Do you know whose intro that I absolutely love, or should I say outro? And I found out that I'm in a mutual group with him, and I actually just need to be like, I'm proper loving what you're doing. It's do you know Poku Banks? It's Poku Banks. I love it. I love it.
Right. Well, I look forward to seeing that outro. I'll comment and let you know what I think. But take care, Bola. Thank you for being.